Hello, friends, and welcome to The Wait is Over. If you saw my trailer, you will see a somewhat brief synopsis of my story. The story is a long, drawn-out story. Over the years, I've had factors that have been contributors to my current situation, and I have factors that are self-induced. Plain and simple, I don't think that it does anybody any good to blame others or situations they've been through for their own lack of discipline and desire to be a healthy individual. Now, there's a psychology behind healthy living. We live in America. The land of opportunity is true. Unfortunately, sometimes that opportunity brings the bad with the good. As I stated in my introduction, back in 2015, I was involved in a car accident, and that accident changed my life forever. So what happened? I was driving in a lane. Somebody was in a stopped lane of traffic, and they decided to pull out to get ahead of everybody else. It happened so fast that I didn't even actually know what actually happened. I thought maybe I had run over some big object in the center of the road. Unfortunately, it was not a big object. It was a car, and the resulting injuries that came from that prevented me from being able to continue in my chosen field of occupation. And so I went through a lot of treatment, a lot of chiropractic, surgical, and the list goes on and on. But the main thing that is important to know is that the injuries are life-altering, forcing me to retire, all those things, life-altering, yes. But part of the process was me just saying, well, I'm done with physical things, so what does it matter anymore? Not a good mindset to be in. However, the story is even longer if I was to go into detail of all the things that happened that were positive. And I'm a believer in the fact that you have to balance any negative with a positive. And if you can figure out a way to see the good in the bad, you're ahead of the game. Most people either go one way or the other. You know, there's a popular thing that says that an optimist sees the glass as half full, a pessimist sees the glass half empty, but I'm a realist, so I don't see the glass as being half empty or full. I just see a glass. And so my push to be in a state of realism has definitely been a benefit, because it restricts me from going to either pendulum swing. And so the secondary statement I have with that is that an optimist has his head in the clouds, a pessimist has his head in the sand, but a realist has his head on his shoulders. And so my approach with what I'm doing in this journey is to be realistic and to be real with myself. You can sit around and you can fool other people fairly easily if they don't know you that well. But what's the reality of the situation that you're in? If you've been injured, if you've been beaten down by life, you have a reason to have been in a state of eating emotionally, which is the equivalent of drugs and alcohol, in my opinion. It's no less addictive to eat from emotion because it's a feel-good fix that's instant and does not require any type of effort on your part. So, what's the other side of the being realistic? Well, it's believing the things that you've done wrong are wrong, but it's also believing the truth that it's not too late, it's never over, and things don't always have to be on a downward slope. It took me 3 years to be able to sit up in a chair straight. Me sitting here in a chair is amazing. I mean, I can feel a cramp in my back from my sacroiliac joints, which are both torn. But since I've been following a better program of health and nutrition, it's been apparently and abundantly clear that inflammation is a major factor in a lot of pain issues that people have, that they may not realize it's inflammation. And so the program that I'm doing is called Cornerstone Wellness. It's a medically supervised and high quality supplements and program that targets the areas that you are weak in and areas you need to improve in. It's fairly simple. And so what's the mindset you have to have? It's that you have to come to a place where you can believe that you can do it. And having belief is a good thing. Some people may say to you, "What in the world are you doing?" That notwithstanding, this is a journey, this is a process, and I'm not going to sit here and be unrealistic and say I'm going to succeed 100% of the time. I could have some bad days. Those are things that are yet to be seen. And so this is just a brief thing. It has a negative connotation in the sense that I let myself go. I'm starting this journey in this documentation well into the process. If somebody asks me how much weight have I lost, I'll say over the course of my life, I've probably lost 500 pounds. Why? Because my life has been a yo-yo and a roller coaster. At this point, I am at 305 pounds. My initial starting point was 352 pounds. I wore a men's suit that was size 58. And for those of you keeping score at home, that means you have a 58-inch waist and the suit jacket is basically the same. That's how men's suits are kind of sized. There's no Sansa belt here. I had to have a belt. That was, if I came up with a clothing line at that time, it would have been, I certainly need a belt, not Sansa belt. So I use humor. You'll see in the process of these videos that I use humor and different things that make the blog blog, video, documentation. I'm not really savvy on the technical terms, but it makes it fun, entertaining, exciting. It just makes life enjoyable. Now, I'm not going to say I'm going out to compete in a triathlon, because I'm not. I have to have some surgical items done to my toes tomorrow, and that's going to slow down my ability to be active for a little while. But does that get me down? Absolutely, 100% not. Even if you were a 600 to 800 pound person, you don't have to go out and walk and run. You can sit right where you are and move. You can get some resistance bands. Our bodies are created to move. We are not created to sit still. An interesting thing is that I've heard of top-notch athletes who were injured and they were bedridden for 4-6 weeks. And even though they were in peak physical condition, being sedentary like that, they started to have some atrophy in their muscles. It's pretty amazing. And so there's many aspects we'll cover throughout this process. I will share with you what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and the things that work for me are proven things that have been done by Cornerstone Wellness. And so I'm going to bring the video to an end here, and I want to talk to anybody out there who is struggling. You may be 50, 100, you may be more overweight. You may have 10 pounds to lose. Here's the key. If you are wanting to lose weight for a look and not for your health, you're going to find that you're going to do things that are very unhealthy. We'll go into it later a little further, but if you research some of the bodybuilders, power lifters, these are guys who it was discovered, and it was even some of them admitted, the overuse of steroids, growth hormone, injecting insulin as a means of uptaking more nutrition. Some of these guys were dead between 25 and 40 years old. They're dead. Not because of any natural causes, it was complications from use of steroids. And so what was their mistake? It was that I'm going for a look, and if it means I die of an enlarged heart, so be it, as long as I get the look. And I find that to be fairly tragic. I find accidents that are preventable to be excessively tragic. And so your health is not a tragedy. You can make strides toward the better. You can start now. You can start slow. You can start with the encouragement of other people. You can start by yourself. As long as you take the step in the right direction and you're taking more steps forward than you are backwards, you'll be all right. Okay, friends, a little bit of a sobering video, but it's going to get a little more lighthearted, so keep tuned. I will be the annoying like, subscribe, share, and hit the bell for notifications guy. And stay tuned. And let's ride this out together and see what happens. And post some comments about what you think. If you think I can improve my video documentaries, I'm completely open to that. I don't have the end-all, do-all, know-all thing. Okay, friends, let's get her done.